I don't have time to be polite, neither do you. You're skipping dinners, missing games, lying awake at 2 running numbers. You think you're building something. I thought so too until April 6, 1945, when I held a 19-year-old boy on a burning ship deck. What I did after that cost me everything. My name is William Hartley. Bill, I'm 96 years old. I built a $4 million construction company in Louisville, Kentucky. Married 62 years to a woman named Eleanor who deserved a whole lot better than what I gave her. Raised 3 kids, no. My wife raised 3 kids while I was out trying to prove something to a dead man. After the war, I told myself 5 words. 5 words that became a prison. I didn't walk out of that prison for 40 years. Give me 10 minutes. Maybe you'll be smarter than I was. Lord, I hope so. Here's the trap. You say it to yourself every single day and you don't even hear it anymore. 5 words. I'll rest when I've earned it. I'll be happy when I hit this number. I'll slow down when I finish this project. I'll be present when things calm down. I'll start living after I've made it. When. You know what when is? When is a word that means never. I mean, think about it. It's a hamster wheel dressed up like a ladder. You think you're climbing, you're just spinning, and the whole time you're telling yourself you're almost there. I said every single one of those things for 40 years, and things never calmed down. Because here's the thing they're not supposed to. That's the trap. That's how it gets you. And I need to tell you about something I found in the pocket of an old work coat 30 years too late. That'll show you exactly what that spinning coat cost me. But first, let me take you back to that ship. April 1945, Okinawa. I was 20 years old on a destroyer that felt like a tin can. My best friend was Tommy Callahan, 19, South Boston, crooked smile and a picture of a girl named Ruth in his shirt pocket. When the shrapnel hit him, he grabbed my jacket with both hands. I can still smell it burning oil and salt, metal screaming. He looked at me and said, "Tell Ruthie I was thinking about her." I said, "I will, Tommy." His hand let go. I never told Ruth, couldn't. And that guilt lord, it became the engine of my whole life. Came home, San Francisco, duffel bag on my shoulder. I told myself 5 words, I'll rest when I've earned it. I owed Tommy a life well used. Every minute had to count because he didn't get any more. Started the company in 48-1 truck, 14-hour days, missed birthdays, missed Christmases, missed the small invisible things. This is the part that gets me. Father's Day, 1971. I walked into my kitchen at 10:45 at night. My little girl Sarah, 8 years old, asleep at the table with her cheek pressed against a card she'd made me, still holding a crayon. It said, "Dear Daddy, I hope you come home before I fall asleep. Love, Sarah." I picked her up, carried her to bed, slipped the card into my work coat pocket, found it 30 years later. Crayon, almost gone. Sarah was 38, gone, all of it. Hit 4 million in 86, Bardstown Road, my name on the building, and I felt nothing, empty, like I'd been filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom for 40 years. It took me 40 years to understand what really happened on that ship. I wasn't building a company. I wasn't providing for my family. I was trying to earn the right to be alive. I was trying to deserve the years Tommy Callahan didn't get. And here's the sick part, I could have just lived. That's all Tommy would have wanted. I know that now. He would have said, "Billy, go home to your wife. Take your girl fishing. Sit on the damn porch." He didn't die so I could spend 40 years punishing myself. But that's exactly what I did. Do the math with me. 40 years. That's 14,600 mornings I woke up next to a woman who loved me and didn't stop to hold her. 3,000 Saturdays I could have spent with my kids. Gone. You can't buy them back. Not for $4 million. Not for 40 million. But it didn't just eat my work. Listen to me. I'll rest when I've earned it. Those 5 words, they got into my marriage. And what Eleanor said to me in 1989, I didn't understand it for 20 years. Stay with me on this part. This is what I need you to hear. I thought I was a good husband. I'm serious. New house, new car. Took Eleanor places she didn't even ask to go. I was providing. That's what men of my generation did. But providing is not the same thing as being there. Kids were gone. House was quiet, the kind of quiet that hums. Eleanor was sitting at the kitchen table and she looked at me. I mean, looked at me like she was trying to find someone she used to know. She said, I can still hear her voice. "Bill, I don't need a bigger house. I need you in the one we've got." I thought she was ungrateful. Can you believe that? I didn't understand. She wasn't asking me to do less. She was asking me to be there. Providing is not the same thing as presence. I learned that 20 years too late. After a while, Eleanor stopped asking. She didn't leave. She was from a generation that didn't leave, but she went quiet. And to quiet Eleanor, that was the worst sound I ever heard because it meant she'd stopped hoping. But there was a man I knew, a man who lost more than me, more than you could imagine, and he was the happiest, most peaceful human being I've met in 96 years. He's the one who finally woke me up. Before I tell you about him, let me tell you about 2 people who never figured it out. Hank Reeves, fellow vet, ran a plumbing outfit, dropped dead at his desk at 72. His secretary Marlene found him slumped over blueprints on a Tuesday morning. Hank had a lake house on Dale Hollow he bought in '65. Never slept in it, not once. When his kids sold it after the funeral, the plastic was still on the furniture. 27 years. You hear that? That's what I'll rest when I've earned it, looks like at the end. My neighbor Doris Keller on Frankfort Avenue, $600,000 in savings when she passed at 89. Leaking roof she wouldn't fix. Canned goods from the '80s in her pantry, saving for someday. Someday never came. And then there was George Nakamura. Government took his family's strawberry farm in Salinas when he was 9. Put him in Manzanar. At 18, he fought for the same country that locked him up, 442nd Infantry. Lost his brother Kenji in France. Came home to nothing. Became a gardener in Sacramento, $30,000 a year. Happiest man I ever met. One afternoon, 1987, his porch I was going on about some contract. George set down his tea, looked at me and said, "Bill, you're not living your life. You're serving a sentence for a crime you didn't commit." Lord, took me 15 more years to hear it. George passed at 91. Lawn chair, garden, sun on his face, cup of tea on the armrest. He had nothing the world calls success. He died richer than anyone I've known. Now I want to tell you something about freedom most people get completely wrong. If you're still watching, you're the kind of person who needs to hear this. You want to know what real freedom is? Because it's not what they're selling you. I had the money, I had the company, my name on the damn building, and I was the least free man in Louisville. Chained to a ghost. Chained to the idea that I hadn't done enough yet. Look, I know men right now worth $10 million who haven't sat down with their kids for a meal in 6 months. Their phones own them. They can't sit in a quiet room without reaching for something. And George Nakamura trimmed hedges for $28,000 a year and sat in his garden every evening with a cup of tea and a heart that wasn't racing. You tell me who's free. Freedom isn't getting everything you want. It's not needing everything you chase. Let me say that again. Freedom isn't getting everything you want. It's not needing everything you chase. Those 5 words you keep telling yourself, that's not a work ethic. That's a prison sentence you wrote for yourself. And you're the warden and the prisoner. And Lord help you, you swallowed the key. The freest thing I ever did was stop. Not quit, stop. Stop running. Stop earning. Stop trying to deserve every breath I took. Here's the trap nobody warned you about. I sold the company in '94. Bought a boat, took Eleanor to Hilton Head for a week, and within 3 months I was up at 4:30 in the morning with a notebook full of ideas for a new venture. Eleanor walked in, saw me at that kitchen table, didn't say a word, just poured her coffee and went into the other room. You know what that silence sounds like? Sounds like someone who's done trying to save you. The hunger doesn't leave when your life gets better. It doesn't care about your retirement party. It leaves when you change, and that's an inside job. I'll rest when I've earned it. The finish line kept moving because the race was never about the finish line. It was about the running, about what happens when you stop. If I stopped, I'd have to sit with Tommy, sit with 40 years of empty chairs and faded cards and a wife who went quiet. Some of you right now, you've already made it, and you're already planning the next thing, because stopping feels like dying. I know, and here's what it all comes down to. If you hear nothing else I say today, hear this. Under all of it, the money, the company, the hours, I was looking for one thing. Permission. Permission to be alive when Tommy wasn't. Permission to sit down and be loved without earning it first. I believe somewhere so deep I didn't even know it was there that I didn't deserve a good life just because I was breathing. I thought love was something you purchased with sacrifice. I thought rest was a reward you unlocked, and I was wrong. 70 years wrong. I didn't need to earn it. I just needed to accept it. Accept that Eleanor's love wasn't a transaction, that my kids needed a father, not a provider, that Tommy's death wasn't my fault, and just living wasn't a debt I owed anyone. I'm 96. I'm still working on this every morning. And I don't know how to explain this, but some days that old voice still shows up. What have you done today to earn your place? And I tell it, hush, I've earned nothing, and I don't have to. Eleanor passed 3 years ago. And what I regret isn't the deals I didn't close. It's every morning I got out of bed before she woke up. Every time she reached for my hand and I was already reaching for my keys. I'll rest when I've earned it. 70 years I said that. And I'm sitting here at 96 to tell you you've already earned it. You earned it the day you took your first breath. You don't need the promotion. You don't need the number. You don't need anyone's permission. This is it right now. This is your life. Not the one you're building toward. Not the one that starts when you finally have enough. This one, the one happening right now while you're planning the next one. Can I tell you something? Tonight, do this for me? Put your phone in another room. Sit with someone you love, your wife, your husband, your kid, your mother, whoever, and ask them, what's one thing I could do that would make you feel more loved? And then this is the important part, don't explain. Don't defend yourself. Don't say, but I'm doing my best. Just listen. Then do it. That's it. Start there. That's the whole thing. George Nakamura sat in his garden with a cup of tea and he was free. You can have that. You don't need a garden. You just need to stop running. I know you're tired. I know you feel like you can't stop. But I'm telling you from the other side of almost a century, the thing you're chasing, it's already behind you. It's in the room you just left. It's in the hand you didn't hold. Go back. It's not too late. You are not too late. You hear me? Say it back if you have to. You are not too late. You don't have to earn the right to rest. You don't have to earn the right to be loved. You already have it. You just have to stop running long enough to let it catch you. Next time that voice shows up, I'll rest when I've earned it. You tell it what I wish I'd said 70 years ago. I already have. If you know someone who's grinding themselves into dust right now, working 70 hours a week, missing bedtimes, telling themselves just a little more, one more quarter, one more year, send them this. They won't listen to you. Maybe they'll listen to a 96-year-old fool who made every mistake they're about to make. And I want to ask you something. Be honest, more honest than I was. What are you waiting to earn before you let yourself rest? What's the thing you keep telling yourself you need before you're allowed to be happy? Write it in the comments. Sometimes just naming the prison is the first step to walking out of it. And if this old man's stories meant something to you, stick around, hit subscribe. I'm not done talking yet.